Yeah, I threw the spectacles on for this one, so you know it's serious business. When I started stream tonight, chat told me something I could have never expected to read. News that you never want to hear.
Chaos at the movies in Surprise this weekend after police say a man exposed himself and urinated inside the theater.
During a screening for the new Demon Slayer film, one fan excitedly stood up and apparently unzipped his trousers and began peeing. Now, I've seen conflicting reports on if they were peeing on somebody or just peeing in general on something. Based on the charges, I'm going to guess it was the latter. It doesn't sound like they pissed on anyone R. Kelly style. It seems like he just started peeing on the seats below him, and then he just sat down as if nothing abnormal just happened. And as you can see here, patrons of the cinema were not too pleased with this display, so they got up and clobbered him. They fucking beat the piss out of him. It was a smackdown. This isn't, they only show you a snippet of it. They are walloping this man, and then when they're done, you can see him in like a Peter Griffin death pose, pretty much. I've seen people calling him the Piss Hashira, and that's given me a hearty giggle. Now, I recently mentioned that I just got a copyright strike for showing news footage, but I truly cannot do this topic justice without showing you some of this footage. So I guess I'm just going to roll the dice here and hope that the news agency won't be upset at showing you some of these clips here about what unfolded. It is so fucking unhinged. The chutzpah to stand up proudly and piss in a crowded movie theater, just fucking tinkling, golden showering the seats beneath you is unfathomable. Like, this isn't even, he didn't even try and be discreet about it. He stood up and he is in the middle of this row of seats. He is in the middle of the section. Everyone was going to see him stand up, and I imagine instantly people were like, "Sit down, goober, what are you doing, douchebag? Take a seat." And then, like, taking a closer look, like, upon further inspection, they're like, "Oh my god, he's urinating. Oh my god, he's fucking peeing over there."
Yeah, it happened Friday night at the AMC Surprise Point. That's where officers responded to the disturbance. Witnesses told police that the man was confronted after he got up, unzipped his pants, and started peeing during a screening of Demon Slayer. Moviegoers confronted the man and started hitting him. The suspect, Limmel Hull, was later arrested and booked on charges of indecent exposure, disorderly conduct, and criminal damage.
I may not be familiar with the Surprise Point AMC location, but I can tell you about surprises, and boy howdy was this probably a big one for everyone that attended this screening. Goodness gracious. When I saw this movie yesterday, my theater was filled to the brim. There wasn't a single open seat left. So if I was a betting man, I would put money that there were people in the seats next to him and people around the splash zone beneath him. Probably horrified that this guy just stood up, pulled his cock out, and then started peeing. Now, like I mentioned, I believe no one was hit with the biological warfare here. I think most people walked away dry, considering his charges didn't include, like, assault or something, which maybe would have been the charge that would arise from getting pissed on. I don't exactly know what it is, but since his charges were criminal damages, indecent exposure, stuff like that, it doesn't sound like anyone got like piss waterboarded. No one was like drenched and super soaked by him or anything, but I do think there's a possibility that maybe it just wasn't reported because maybe they didn't even know that they got hit. Like, I feel like standing up and pissing like this, probably, like, there's going to be droplets bouncing and splashing in places they don't expect, so maybe some people got it on, like, their shoes or something and just didn't notice, because from the sound of things, he did a full-blown tinkle carpet bomb. I would wager a guess that the guys who went up and gave him the knuckle sandwiches were probably the ones closest to him when he did this, and I would also say that I'm surprised that he didn't get more charges added, considering that in this movie theater auditorium, there were probably kids around when he got up and just started pissing with like his whole meat out and everything. I'm actually kind of surprised there weren't more charges on it.
Hull appeared in court Saturday afternoon. He was later released. A witness tells us AMC gave everyone in the theater a refund.
That's actually a pretty nice gesture from AMC with the refunds, but you can't put the piss back in the balls. What a crazy situation here. I actually cannot even imagine the state of mind someone would have to be in to do some shit like that. It seems he desperately needed to go to the potty, but I guess he just didn't want to excuse himself to the restroom. Maybe he was afraid that he'd miss something important in the movie. He didn't want to miss a second of the action. And even still, the decision to stand up and piss is fucking shockingly baffling. Like, there's no good way of doing this besides just going to the bathroom. You're gonna miss a little bit of the movie. But, like, why wouldn't you just pee your pants? like you could piss your pants and nobody would know you did that in a dark auditorium. Like, maybe they'd smell it, eventually as the odor emanates. But it'll also be kind of hard to pin that on who exactly was the pants pisser. Like, why wouldn't he just pee his pants? That would also come with a myriad of excuses too, by the way, like, oh man, I had an accident, I didn't know I had to pee like that, or you could, like, blame it on a condition or something. But instead, he made, like, an entire song and dance out of him pissing. Like, he actually interrupted the film so that way people would watch him pee. He called all the attention to his degenerate act. What a fucking sick freak. Anyway, though, I had to yap about this a bit. This one was shockingly wild. That's about it. See ya. There's a mystery afoot, so grab the Scooby snacks and let's get to work. A pool at a Quality Inn has been mysteriously turning green 12 separate times. This isn't how God intended. This is not natural. They suspect this is intentional sabotage at this particular Quality Inn, but when authorities check the surveillance camera footage, they find no evidence of any culprits going to the scene of the crime or anything like that. How is that possible? Are they being attacked by an invisible man? Is this a situation out of The Happening where the plants are fighting back and they're responsible for the pool turning green 12 times? What's the motive? And most importantly, who really is behind it? It's very clear that there is a supervillain loose here, and only I'm qualified to crack this case and get to the bottom of it. When it comes to mysteries, I'm like L from Death Note. I figured out what happened to D.B. Cooper. I even solved the mystery of who shit in my pants when I went to Halloween Horror Nights in middle school. There's nothing I can't solve given enough time. But luckily in this case I didn't need to. In fact, the authorities pieced the puzzle together and it is so fucking wacky I can't wait to share it with you.
Cops pull up to a shocking sight. A pool where the water has turned neon green.
What in the world? What is that?
Sandra Woolston, the co-owner of this Quality Inn and Suites in New Jersey, was baffled when her motel pool mysteriously turned from clear water to this.
The voiceover for this one makes it sound like an old infomercial. Turned from clear water to this! Ew! But luckily with OxyClean, we got it right back to a clear blue. I don't know why he's, like, exaggerating all of the statements in this manner, like with his intonation, but it's really enjoyable. It makes it, like, even more gripping in my opinion. But anyway, that's the story in a nutshell. This Quality Inn, for some reason, keeps having their pool turn green. And the only way to fix that is for them to keep draining the pool, which is extremely expensive.
I watched it turn green in front of my eyes.
Somebody is sabotaging my pool. My pool is yellow as my guests can go inside the pool.
I broke down. I didn't know what to do because with all these kids waiting to use the pool, but they couldn't go in.
The pool had to be drained and refilled with clean water. 2 days later,
the vandalist is back again. Our pool is green as a grass.
It happened a total of 12 times.
So either this place is cursed where they've built it on top of a Hulk burial ground and he's getting his revenge by turning the pool green with gamma radiation, or there really is a practical jokester that's really taken a liking to turning this pool green for some reason. That's all the information we have to work with so far. There are some more clues we'll get to in a moment, but let's start to piece together potential narratives together as a thought experiment. Perhaps whoever is responsible for sabotaging this is a previous guest at the Quality Inn who recently had a negative experience with that pool. Now, if I was on scene during this investigation with my monocle, magnifying glass, and pipe that I was smoking, the first thing I would ask would be if I could have access to the guest registry over the last couple of weeks, and if there'd been any reports of complaints from the guests about the pool. Assuming, of course, the Quality Inn keeps records on their complaints, it would give me a narrower list of suspects that I could focus on. I'd then set up up an interview with each name on that list, and I'd do a little game of good cop, bad cop, where I'd be the bad cop and the good cop would come in with like a soda from McDonald's. I'd invite them to drink the soda. When they take a sip, I would then inform them that what they just consumed was truth serum, which means they could no longer lie. Then I'd finally finish it off with the brain buster, the most important question: did you do it? And then I'd gauge their response from there.
This is every damn day, man. Look at the pool. That's like neon yellow color.
It was just, and the entire pool was engulfed.
What was turning the pool green? Here was the first clue. An object she found at the bottom of the pool.
I'll be honest, that object looks like some kind of extraterrestrial being. If you put a picture of that object on the r/alien subreddit, they would gobble that shit up as true evidence of like an alien brainstem or something. That would give me no clues here. I'd start really thinking paranormal about this. Like, oh, maybe there's not a person behind this. Maybe it's a cryptid or something. I don't know what the fuck that is. That looks disgusting. Whatever that is. It must be whatever turns the pool green. Some kind of like dissolvable mesh or some shit maybe that, you know, distributes the green dye to the rest of the pool. But yeah, that shit is yucky.
But when police reviewed the motel surveillance video, they found nothing suspicious. Here's Stephen Fabian.
So how did the pool turn green? Well, cops say the culprit used a drone like this to hover over his target before releasing a concentrated packet of dye.
The dye is actually a life-saving device used for ocean rescues.
When they broke the magician's code and revealed how this was most likely done, it blew my tiny little brain. I realized at that moment I would never cut it as a detective trying to piece together a complicated case. That whole idea never even crossed my noodle as a possibility. That the reason someone didn't show up on surveillance camera yet the pool still turned green was because it was transported via drone outside of the security camera's, field of view. That would have never been something I thought of. That is actually so devious. It's admittedly a pretty clever plan here because then the actual person responsible for it is a long distance away from the scene of the crime, so there's not a ton of breadcrumbs to follow. This is one of those galaxy brain maneuvers that you see fictional villains do in media. But somehow, the cops did catch him. So I'm not only impressed by the method they used here in order to distribute the green dye to the pool, but also the fact that they got caught.
So, who do police say was behind the attacks? They arrested 45-year-old Patrick Spina, who owns a heating and air conditioning business close to the motel. The motive? Cops say he's a prankster. He didn't have much to say when we caught up with him.
There he is, that scoundrel. So, they've got him. Apparently, I will say that they didn't do a great job of explaining how they really connected him to this. So apparently he owns a business nearby, but when I first heard that, I thought it'd be like, oh, it must be a competing business and this is his way of sabotaging a competitor, trying to like take them out of business or financially harm them. But apparently they believe the motive is genuinely him just being a quirky little jokester. I also needed to dig a bit deeper in here to figure out how exactly they connected this drone to this individual. So apparently they had spotted it over the Quality Inn on September 1st and then just followed it back to where he was and then arrested him. So they did catch him red-handed with his hand in the cookie jar here, but the motive of just being a prankster is incomprehensible to me because this is not a prank. This is a dozen times. This is just genuine vandalism and trying to ruin that business. Because it's super expensive to keep fixing that. Not only did they have to keep draining the pool and refilling it, but now they're going to have to refinish it too, since the green dye is harmful to the pool as well. So the frequency and all of that makes it seem like it's not really a joke, because I mean, what's the ha-ha moment? It's just this fucking goofball. Like, there's no way he's treating this like a joke. There had to be a deeper motive to it that I don't think is pranks. Though I guess I could be totally wrong here, since pranks in the modern age are just legitimate degeneracy and actual just harming people half the time. So maybe it is possible that this is just his idea of what a prank is, but it really took a big toll on the motel's owner because it is super expensive.
I just hope that this bonehead paid for what he did and he never ever do anything this dumb and so stupid to impact other people's livelihood.
The suspect is charged with criminal mischief and faces fines as much as $30,000. The hotel owner says that prank cost her at least $20,000.
Yeah, so the mystery has been solved. He is facing a charge for this and hopefully will be responsible for paying for all the damages caused to the motel. a happy ending here, but what a wild little adventure to go on, because, again, I don't know how you'd ever really piece this one together if you never saw the drone in the surveillance camera or anything. They must have just got lucky that they saw the drone over the quality in at one point and then just followed it back to home base. Yeah, so now we can comfortably close the books on the mysterious case of the pool turning green. Just wanted to share that with all of you. That's about it. See ya. On the internet, there's a single unwritten rule. Don't fuck with K-pop fans. K-pop is a word that's like Voldemort in Harry Potter's Sorcerer's Stone. You just don't say it. You're not allowed to say it. Even if it's something positive, it's fucking forbidden, and you will get absolutely virtually bitch slapped, as they call it. The K-pop community, for those that don't know, are a community of people that literally worship anything Korean pop related, and they make it their entire life. Now, this is less focusing on just being a fan of K-pop music, and more of just the idea of celebrity worship and how unhealthy it is, where K-pop fans take that to the most extreme possible level. So for those that don't know, K-pop is a genre of music that stands for Korean pop, BTS being the biggest group most of you have probably heard of. I kind of fuck with some K-pop myself. I'm not a huge fan of the genre, but there are some songs that are just straight bangers in the genre that I appreciate. And this genre of music has spawned an incredibly aggressive community of feral animals that foam at the mouth anytime their favorite group is even mentioned, even in a positive way. Oh, how dare you mention Luna? You're not as big a fan of Luna as I am. I will literally fuck you in the butt with my small penis. Oh, you think you like Luna, do you? Do you even know where they were born? Do you? Do you know who their parents are? This incredibly unhealthy obsession with these groups is what the entire K-pop fandom is all about. They proudly call themselves stans. And for those that don't know, stan is a term coined from Eminem's song Stan. It's a combination of stalker and fan. The song is about a fan who's obsessed with Eminem, who goes as far as to kill himself and his girlfriend because his idol didn't reciprocate the love or acknowledge his existence. So these people proudly call themselves a stalker and a fan. And I know they don't use that literally, but some of them absolutely do. I feel like a lot of these K-pop stans are one Twitter argument away from lighting a church on fire out of passion because the pastor doesn't listen to K-pop. It's genuinely unhealthy how obsessed they are with some of these groups. And it's not good at all. I don't know why anyone would make this their entire identity. These K-pop stans have changed their entire life to make it all about being a fan of that group. A group that has no connection to them. The group doesn't know they exist, and if the group ever encountered that person in the real world, they would immediately call security because they'd be afraid. It's disturbing to have a complete stranger know everything about you and can't even get like a normal word in because they won't stop screaming and ululating and pissing their pants just at the sight of you. No one wants that. That's why none of the K-pop groups ever acknowledge their fandom in public, at least not from what I've seen. And I've done a little research on this because I was curious if they reciprocated that love with these incredibly hostile groups of people that go on Twitter and try and ruin careers and try and get people fired because they didn't like the same K-pop group. It's a literal ass-eat-ass world in the K-pop standom. It's a cannibalized society. They eat each other. They genuinely fucking eat each other, ripping nipples off, jerking dicks off. It's fucking crazy how insane the K-pop stan community is, and it's mainly on Twitter. That's where we'll focus on most of this. When you even make a tweet with K-pop in the title, you are getting shit. No matter what you've said, you are getting a shower of shit. Literal diarrhea. Because they just are immediately defensive and think anything with K-pop in it is an attack on them. I can't post any pictures because Twitter has really vague definitions of what constitutes harassment or brigading, so I'm going to assume most of you know what I'm talking about, or if you don't, you can easily find it if you even just search K-pop. I'm sure you could find a million arguments right now happening this second. And I think it's extremely sad because these people's entire lives revolve around being the biggest fan of a group of strangers. They like some of their songs, so now they have devoted their entire being, their entire existence to being a fan and stalker of that group of people. That's such a waste. That's genuinely just sad. And I don't think that's healthy at all. I don't know how anyone can proudly call themselves a super stalker fan. It's fucking sad. And the fact that they're extremely aggressive about it, it's fine to be passionate, and this isn't obviously to the entire community of K-pop fans. There's totally rational ones as well. But for some reason, K-pop has bred this incredibly hostile group of people with an unhealthy obsession that I think needs to be addressed. And I can't state this enough, their entire existence is based around just being a fan. It's like their professional job is being a professional fan of this group of strangers that they just like the music of. They fight full-time, a literal 9-to-5 job, fighting on Twitter for their honor, white knighting this group that doesn't even like them or acknowledge their existence, and it's fucking sad. It's pathetic. And it's fine to be passionate, but this is unhealthy obsession. I'm talking to all of the stans out there. You know who you are. You've replied to my tweets with their fucking 2-minute long clips of choreography from your favorite K-pop group. That's their favorite pastime. For some reason, that's owning the non-believers, really pwning the fucking K-pop haters by posting a full 2-minute video from one of their live performances where the camera is fixated on the one they have the biggest crush on. And it looks like a serial killer footage that they're showing because they have this entire group of people dancing, and yet it's focused all shaky cam, Cloverfield style, on one of them as they follow them around breathing heavily into the camera. It's fucking disturbing. You're not winning any arguments by posting that. You're just making yourself look like even more of a sociopath. I just really don't get it, and I don't mean to be so aggressive with the K-pop community because, again, not every single K-pop fan is like this, but there is a huge community of K-pop stans that are exactly like this and make the internet a really sad place, Twitter in particular, a really fucking sad place. Coming across a K-pop stan, I can't help but feel bad for him. There's really nothing more wasteful than worshiping a celebrity full-time. I don't understand how that dependency on a celebrity comes to fruition, how it breeds. I don't really get it. You don't know the person. You don't know anything about them. You're just a fan of some of the shit they put out there. Why waste your time being a full-time enthusiast of that person? Enjoy their work. Let other people either enjoy it or not. You don't have to go out of your way to take more time out of your day to fight that person's battles when they most likely don't want you to. I highly doubt any of the celebrities like that kind of behavior. It genuinely, like, I guarantee if the K-pop stans and the K-pop group ever got together to do like a meet and greet, like the K-pop stans on Twitter and then the actual group, if they got together, it'd be like a scene out of the first season of The Walking Dead where the K-pop stans literally eat the group alive because they love them so much and they don't know how to control themselves. They would literally feast upon the flesh of their favorite group out of a crime of passion. That's how fucking deranged they are, or at least that's how they act on Twitter. It's so fucking strange. And I feel like the K-pop enthusiasts are going to lose their goddamn mind just even knowing I said these things about them. But you need to take a moment of self-reflection and calm the fuck down. Enjoy your K-pop group. Enjoy whatever the fuck you want. But why act like such a goddamn asshole about it and make it your entire life to be that asshole about it? It's such a waste. A pathetic waste. And I think you need a hard look in the mirror to realize what a waste it is spending hours and hours of every day searching through Twitter out of your way, typing in K-pop to fight battles. You know, these people get up in the morning and put on a sweatband, jerk off into a sink, and then get ready to have Twitter arguments. That is their plan for the day, it seems like. These people come locked and loaded, ready to just go as far out of their way as possible to find a tweet with one comment on it and 5 likes and start fighting them about K-pop. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts, and it's fucking scary. It really is. And that's all I wanted to bring up. K-pop fans and celebrity worship scare me. That's the whole point. And I think if you're a K-pop stan, you need to take a moment and calm the fuck down. That's about it. So yeah. I identify as Korean now. I'm getting my 6th nose job. We know this guy. This is don't tell me his name. Don't tell me his name. It's Ollie London. I remember when he was just a huge Jimin fan stalker. And I've seen on Twitter, I've kept up with some updates, he's undergone multiple surgeries to look Korean. And yeah, it's pretty awful, really.
People need to accept the fact I do look like Jimin. I'm pretty much identical to Jimin. I even coined the term transracial. I've had a lot of backlash for identifying as Korean, but I'm just living my truth.
It's pretty fucking rough.
They're saying that I don't look like Jimin, which finally I'm gonna...
Every doctor that has worked on him should be fired and have their license revoked.
This is it. I've got my new nose.
Hey!
How are you today?
Good to see you, enabler.
I'm originally from the UK. Yes.
Jimin, I love you. I love you so much. 사랑해, BTS.
It's gotta be really hard
TikTok
being
star
BTS,
and also
honestly.
a YouTuber. My procedures. I always go to the doctor and say, okay, please make me look Korean. Please make me look like Jimin.
How does he afford
It's
all
really
these
difficult to
surgeries?
count 'cause I've done so many,
I think
but
his
would say
parents are
probably
super
like
wealthy, if I
18
remember right.
procedures. Probably spent now probably
It's been a while.
over $200,000. Chin, eyes, brow lift, chest, nipples, liposuction, so many things.
Whoa,
I would
wait,
call
what?
myself transracial because
Why nipples? What? Why? What was the point of that? That must have just been like a package deal. The fucking surgeon was like, yeah, if you give me an extra 15K, I'll just do your nipples too. He's like, fuck it. Run it. Are Jimin's nipples even public? Let me look this up. Jimin nipples. Jimin's got nipples! Holy fuck! That's big. No, that's big. I see why I got his nipples done now.
really horrendous. I've had murder threats, people saying they don't know where I live, what hotel I'm staying at, they're coming to come and kill me. People have made petitions online.
Little do they know he's bulletproof from all that
saying
plastic
I should be sending
surgery.
a rocket to space off the planet. Cruel names, they compare me to all sorts of celebrities, say that I look like Ellen DeGeneres instead of Jimin. People that call me racist, it's like, you know, actually get to know me. I get so many people coming up to me and it's always a positive response. 99%.
Do they ask up for
like,
autographs
"Oh my
thinking
God,
that
I
you're
love you, I
Jimin?
love what you do.
Because you do look like twins.
I'm so excited today. I'm going to be meeting Bibiana and some of my amazing friends, Pam and Kayla.
You need better
well. We're
friends.
Maybe. I'm so excited. I can't believe I'm in Texas.
What's new?
He doesn't look like Jimin?
What's going on?
Are your eyes
Wow.
open?
I mean, I've had such a crazy few months. Bibiana, can you take this? Caleb?
I think I can.
I mean, you know what I'm like, right?
Oh my god, he's gonna meet Jimin.
Yes.
Give me a
What?
face.
A surprise? Is it Jimin?
He's
Did
gonna,
you meet Jimin?
he's gonna meet Jimin! He's in the box, it's his head!
What is this?
This is
The
big.
surprise
Oh my god.
is I am going to have a revision rhinoplasty, so I'm having my nose done again to get the
Lame.
Korean nose.
Not
And
Jimin,
then
not
the nipples,
interested.
And voila, I'll be 100% Jimin. When I see my nipples, they're kind of asymmetrical, they have scarring and stuff.
Well, I'm gonna
Yeah,
make this
that
big.
happens with Jimin nipple
Oh
surgery.
my god.
You want to go ahead?
Okay.
Pretty risky procedure.
Okay, I'm nervous. I know it's going to be last one because I'm with you, you know.
I can't believe his nose
Previous
still
doctors have
works.
warned me if I have one more nose surgery, my nose could fall off. But I trust Dr. Aguyo, and I know.
Yeah, he's even using Maya 3D
We
there.
understand that. Look at the septum.
He just fucking hits it with a hammer.
Your septum is deep.
I had a botched procedure before,
Nipples?
so I kind of have scarring here,
Right.
and asymmetry in my nipples. So wondered if that was something you.
Hold on, let me compare. Let me bring up Jimin's nipples again. I don't know. Actually, they might have actually got that right on the nose. Jimin nipples, Ollie nipple. That might have been worth the $50,000. Like if I was to zoom in here on both nipples, I wouldn't know if it was Jimin or Ollie. It's a tough call. Tough call to make. I don't think it's worth the redo. He's trying to take a mulligan on it, but I just don't think it's worth it. Ollie, just run with those nipples.
I'm gonna get my Korean nose and my Korean Jimin nipples, and finally complete my transition of becoming 100%
Korean Jimin nipples.
Hey
guys, just had my surgery. I'm feeling absolutely amazing.
His nipples are like fucking protruding out like fucking diamonds.
Can you understand why people are
Show me those fucking nipples, Ollie. Don't hide them. Don't be selfish.
Jimin's nipples, and I've also got Jimin's new nose.
I feel like you can identify as a different race. That's totally cool, as long as you're respecting the culture.
Oh, have you seen Joe Rogan's nipples while we're on the subject? Before we get the grand reveal here. Check out Joe Rogan's nipples. I was looking at these bad boys the other day. They're fucking nuts. Joe Rogan's got some crazy fucking milkers on him. Look at these bad boys. I've never seen nipples that look like that. It's like two baby fingers. Maybe he should have got surgery to get Joe Rogan nipples instead. Start mixing matching looks. So a little Jimin, a little Joe Rogan. Yeah, fucking cool.
And oh my god.
Show me, Ollie.
So beautiful. Here it is.
It's Jimin!
Guys, I am so happy.
Oh, he did it.
I can't believe it. You know, I've waited my whole life.
Where'd Ollie go? Jimin, what did you do with Ollie? Where is he at?
So much.
Bring Ollie back out now.
I've had from
This
Korea.
is a good
They're just
prank,
happy
but
that
I want to see Ollie
become
again.
one of them. It's 2021, you know, people identify in so many different ways. I think it's fantastic people can be whoever they want to be. So
Wow.
just onwards and upwards, I'm Korean. People need to accept
Man,
the fact
he
that I do
should
look like
sue
Jimin,
that
I'm
plastic
pretty much identical
surgeon
to Jimin.
ASAP. Like, as soon as possible. Like, really, like now. Genuinely. Which one's the real Jimin, huh? And then here, to like now, you know, Jimin's mom probably wouldn't even be able to recognize him from Ollie. Wow, the transformation is complete. Do you think the doctor, I forgot his name. I don't know, Dr. Evil, whatever the fuck. Do you think he did this on purpose? Like he was just laughing about it? He was like it looks like a nose you'd create in Dark Souls characters creator. He had to have done this on purpose, like with a big smile on his face. Like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck this guy's day up. You know, as long as Ollie's happy, that's what matters. Though I will say, getting closer and closer to looking more like Ellen with every surgery. My 8.5 million fans mistake me for Scarlett Johansson. To be fair, looks a lot like Scarlett Johansson in this thumbnail.
Именно людей достаточно много думают,
Well, holy shit, she actually looks a lot like Scarlett Johansson. She didn't even get surgery to look like her. Meanwhile, fucking Ollie spent how much? $250,000 to look like Jimin? She was just born looking like Scarlett Johansson? Sometimes you just get lucky. If I was Ollie, I would be furious right now. But does she have Scarlett Johansson's nipples? Yeah, true, she'll have to get the ScarJo nipple surgery. That is a really uncanny resemblance. That was not overhyped. Wait, which one's Kate? This one's Kate, right? But is this her doing cosplay, or is this actually what Scarlett Johansson looks like? Now I don't know. I'm getting fucking lost. So I know this is Kate. Is this Scarlett Johansson? Or are they both her? This is also Kate? Holy shit. A few years ago, I made a video covering a food review YouTube channel I stumbled across. At the time, it had like 5,000 subscribers, but I was blown away by the quality of this channel. Very high effort videos that was produced here, just very special. That channel, Joe is Hungry. And Joe has still been grinding to this day, more so now than ever, and I think his videos have only gotten better. So I wanted to hop back in the saddle here, another rodeo, to show you what Joe's been up to, because he has been in the lab cooking. A single Joe is Hungry food review has more interesting cinematography than the entirety of the new Supergirl movie. Alrighty, man, there is just something so nostalgic about an intro like this. When I was first starting YouTube, I used to make intros just like this. Not with this kind of music, I mainly used metal, but like when I started my own glitching clan in Gears of War, which was literally just me because everyone fucking refused to join me. I was confined to my own loony bin, so I started Chaotic Glitchers. I made intros just like this. When I started Fun Tactics, I made intros just like this. And I love to see that spirit carried forward. Joe is legitimately talented at editing though, so his intro may seem like Windows Movie Maker type shit, but his actual production here I think is very impressive. And it's by design. The Fuzzy Cat production intro here with the episode number being like that, with the very fun, zany like spinning and stuff, it's to elicit that feeling that I feel like all of us know growing up with this kind of content. And this is a brand new video. This came out a day ago. It's so nice to just see that. I don't know, there's something very refreshing about it. You can't help but smile. Now, off rip, that's obviously a bit of a gut punch. That is heartbreaking to see that his cat Belle has sadly passed away. Belle is the Fuzzy Cat in Fuzzy Cat Productions. That's where the name comes from, I believe. So that was sad. But I appreciate the tribute that Joe gives to Belle. Having that like stop motion in the beginning, I think was really cute as well. And Joe says the show must go on, and indeed the show does go on, and it's a wonderful show, Joe.
Well, hello out there, you hungry people. I can say that it brightens my day to see your smiling faces. Well, as they say, the show must go on, so we're headed to Little Caesars to try out their newest limited time offer, the Webberoni Pizza. Obviously a takeoff on the new Spider-Man movie coming out on July 31st. We're bringing it back. Do what we always do, right here within the city limits of Fairmount, Georgia.
Just a good old-fashioned classic showman here. He's playing to 3 different cameras here, keeping the angles interesting, addressing each and every one of them, presenting it, you know, coming at you live from Georgia here. Like, it's, I don't know, there's something just so fucking cool about that. He treats this not as just a YouTube video, but a show. And I love that. I get really invested into it. Like, I thought I'd been hungry at different points in my life, but I don't even know hunger like Joe does. Joe's mastered hunger. He's made hunger his bitch. And the way that he is able to go out there and review food in really interesting ways, like, he's like a surgeon when it comes to reviewing food. He gets into the minutia of it, and he keeps it so fresh and exciting, and he's zipping around so many camera angles, so much editing, boner jams out the wazoo. I get like a whole cinematic experience watching a Joe is Hungry food review.
Colin, thank you for your nice letter and supporting the channel. Brian, I want to thank you for your generous support. Jenna, happy birthday and congratulations for your impending nuptial. Danae, John, thank you for your support and happy anniversary. Ansley, Jacob, Raphael, Christina, I want to wish all of you a very hungry, happy birthday. Little Caesars Webberoni Pizza consists of 1 large round pizza, a web of shredded pepperoni designed to look like a Spider-Man web, mozzarella cheese, toasted 2-cheese blend, and a Spider-Man theme box. Now that's gonna make it taste better.
You've got to appreciate that he shouts at his community members like this, wishing them a happy birthday and such. That's just very sweet. And then he gets right into business. He starts laying out the cold, hard facts here. Gives you the Carfax on whatever he's reviewing. In this case, it's the Webberoni Pizza. I didn't know shit about the Webberoni Pizza going into this review, but with the way Joe describes it and lays it all out, giving me the ingredients list, I almost feel like I can build this motherfucker myself at home from scratch. And I'm not a Little Caesars guy, so I had no plans of ever checking out the Webberoni Pizza, but I just have to know what Joe thinks of it.
A single slice, and there are 8 of them, will pop you with 316 calories. I would have this information on the screen, but Little Caesars didn't see fit to share this information with their customers. If I get it at a later date, I will put it in the description below. Knowing all this, and you still want to try out one of these pies, be prepared to shell out $8.99 before taxes in Georgia. So let's get this show on the road and head on over to Little Caesars in Cartersville, Georgia.
You thought this shit was a game, huh? You thought you'd only get to see him take a bite of a piece of pizza and say, good, bad? Nah. When it's a Joe is Hungry review, you get the entire kit and caboodle. You get the entire journey. You get the whole process laid out for you. How long it takes you to get your pizza. What the pizza's temperature is. And you get to go in the passenger seat with Joe and multiple cameras. He's got so many fucking camera angles here too. He's even got the GTA 4 cinematic angle outside of the car. Oh, it's chef's kiss, man. And then you also get to see him fucking granny shifting and drifting around the corners here, getting in the drive-thru of the Little Caesars. Cool, calm, and collected.
I've got my beeper. Let's wait for the pizza to come out. Lucky 13. We're in the Little Caesars penalty box.
Bro, I love it. Watching him navigate the drive-thru, it's like the killer bean of food reviews. It's so hype. And I thought for a second he crashed his car getting out of the drive-thru. You can see as he was pulling out talking to us, he collides briefly with something. I'm pretty sure his tire just hit the curb as he was trying to steer that shit out of there. But when the car jumped like that, and you can see Joe go from hungry to confused, he's like, briefly, that shit had me giggling hard. So hopefully, it wasn't like a scratch or anything on the vehicle. And hopefully he didn't run over someone there. Like maybe there was someone laying down. They had passed out into a food coma and Joe just fucking steps on it and speed bumps their ass. But if that is the case, it's a sacrifice for a high quality food review. And sometimes that's the price you gotta pay for quality like this. Now, if I did have any critique at all for the format here, I would just like Joe to not film the workers. So he has multiple camera angles, and in one of them, you can see the fast food employees, and they notice the camera, and they don't want to be on camera. That's my one critique. The one thing I'd like to see changed here is just don't show the workers. I don't like when content creators are using employees as props, which is not what Joe's doing. He's just showing the whole process here for the food review, showing himself getting it and what all that looks like. But in one of the angles, you can see the workers, and it's just something that I'm sure they would appreciate not being on camera is all.
Well, it's time to go get our pizza. Let's pull off to the side and do the Joe's Hungry temperature test.
It's never been so hype watching someone collect their food and drive around a parking lot looking for a spot to park to eat it. The way he films it, it's like watching a fucking action sequence almost. I don't know, there's an art form to it. It feels like I'm watching like a Lego movie or something.
Weberoni number 1 is 170.1 degrees Fahrenheit. Weberoni number 2 is 176.2 degrees Fahrenheit. Weberoni number 3 is 176.0 degrees Fahrenheit. If you've been watching my channel, you know I like my temperatures at 140 degrees or above. Really? There was no way they were going to fail this coming straight out of the oven. So today, Little Caesars, Cartersville, Georgia, you pass the Joe is Hungry temperature test.
Let's fucking go! If Little Caesars doesn't put that on a plaque somewhere in their establishment, they made a huge blunder. Passing the Joe is Hungry temperature test, baby, with flying colors, mind you. They were well into the nice temperature that Joe likes to see there on the pies. And I love the way that he does it. He sticks it in through like one of the opening on the front of the box in order to not expose it to like air and make it an unfair grade. He's thought of everything. So he inserts it like a fucking needle, like a syringe of heroin, puts it into the pie to get the temperature without exposing it to the elements. Fucking galaxy brain.
Now, let's see if you can make these the same size. How's your portion control? Well, we're going to find out when we take off for the Spider-Man box. In other words, set the tear on the scales. Weberoni number 1 is 31.02 ounces or 880 grams. Weberoni number 2 is 29.06 ounces or 824 grams. Weberoni pizza number 3 weighs in at 30.31 ounces or 860 grams. Well, the difference between the heaviest and the lightest is less than 10% of the average weight of all three. So today, Little Caesars, you pass the Joe is Hungry consistency weight test.
Joe puts the food through the ringer. The fucking Turing test is probably easier to pass than Joe's protocol here, but that's what makes it so great, how thorough he is. Well, and also, how high quality it is. I love, like, the editing that he does, and then like slow-mo throwing the pizza box behind him. But yeah, now this is like weighing it to see if it's consistent, you know? Quality control. Is it the same pie serving every time? That kind of thing. Which, I think that's something interesting to take a peek at. And Little Caesars, once again, aces it.
Big reveal.
It is unbelievable untapped potential that these food companies don't hire Joe to hype up their products, man. Just the way he shows off this pizza actually sparked my intrigue into potentially even considering getting the Little Caesars Weberoni, which is something that would never cross my mind ever. But watching him show it off, I'm like, you know what? That is pretty appealing looking, the way Joe showcases it. He even takes all of its clothes off there, getting it down into its fucking birthday suit. So you go down to the bread level and get to see that on full display, then bread plus sauce, then bread plus sauce plus cheese, then the rest of the toppings. You get the whole thing. It's like looking at something under a microscope and just slowly zooming out after you've fully fucking zoomed in, gone to the atomic level here. I don't know, just I love Joe's presentation, man. It's as simple as that. Then he gets the knife out, does a couple of flares there, slides that shit off. I don't know. Everything here I think just works.
It's the one and only Joe is hungry bite test. So it is. Bite test, engage. Well, this is just nothing more than a normal pizza crust. It is well cooked. It is a little bit crispy around the edges when it was fresh. The pizza sauce was mildly tart and to me a little bit on the sweet side.
The bite test. The most honest measurement left on this planet. The Joe is hungry bite. And so he gluttonously gets in there and consumes the slice top to bottom, devouring it, and then gives his thoughts. Ultimately, it was kind of lukewarm, like nothing special about it, it's not bad or anything. But the thing is, that's just Joe is hungry's perspective. And if you thought Joe was alone here, you're off your fucking gourd, Buster. Joe actually has a special surprise guest here.
I really don't see a whole lot special about this pizza unless Shadow Joe sees it differently when we do the Joe is hungry Sneak-a-Doodle Bite. Sneak-a-Doodle Bite, number 1. Sneak-a-Doodle Bite, number 2. It is hot. I can really taste the pepperoni strips. The cheese is melty and almost burns my mouth. Let's go ahead and let the smart guy give this thing a score. If you don't know the scale is 1 to 10, 9 being the best. Anything above 9 is a once in a lifetime experience and almost never achieved. 5 and down is that slippery slope to the pits and depths of fast food hell. So let's go ahead and give this the number it truly deserves.
That's right, Shadow Joe, his tag team partner. So they have Joe at the helm, Joe is hungry at the helm, Joe Prime, but they also have Shadow Joe that's doing the Sneak-a-Doodle Bites. Now it's actually an interesting concept because since Joe takes the food home and makes like a whole production out of it, obviously the food sits there for a little while on the journey home as well as like showing it off. So the food doesn't stay fresh that whole time. And it's actually something that when we do our food reviews is very noticeable when you have food that sits for a while. And obviously that changes how good it is. So what Joe did to combat that is he created Shadow Joe, split off a piece of his own soul, made Shadow Joe, where he eats it on the spot while it's still blistering hot. So that's what he's saying. Like, yep, it's almost burning my mouth. So he is eating it as fresh as it can possibly be to combat that. And then Shadow Joe and Joe Prime come together like Voltron and then deliver the score that it deserves.
Before I get started, I'd like to suggest that you eat it on site, eat it hot, eat it fresh. That goes with all pizzas. Little Caesars. To me, this is nothing more than regular conveyor oven pizza with a little extra mozzarella and shredded pepperoni. You'd have thought you'd have done something a little bit more special. After all, it is Spider-Man. That being said, good flavor, well cooked, and an excellent price. No denying that at all. So, I'm gonna go 6.8. That is my number. This is my review, and hopefully I will see you in the next video.
You bet your sweet ass you will, Joe. I really, really enjoy his content, man. He seems like a really nice guy. I think he puts so much work into it, and it shows in how great the videos come out. So yeah, I talked about him like 3 years ago, and I tune in, and I just like to see him still out there, seemingly really enjoying his work. And yeah, I just wanted to kind of talk about him again. It's just a lot of fun. That's really about it. So yeah. You're not going to believe this until I show you the proof, but the situation with Brandon, the guy who spent $62,000 on Ruby Rose's OnlyFans, actually gets so much worse and more sad, and honestly just downright scary for Ruby Rose. I imagine she's considering getting like a really strong team of bodyguards, like trying to hire the fucking Justice League to protect her, because Brandon is unhinged now. And in the last video I made about this, he had met her in person, and Ruby Rose chalked it up to being like, oh, what a coincidence, I bumped into my #1 spender on OnlyFans. Meanwhile, I'm quite sure Brandon cold calculated, tracked her down in order to just spontaneously run into her. So he's already showcased that he will find her in the real world if given the opportunity, I believe. And after what Ruby Rose posted today, if that happens again, I feel like there's no telling what he might do in the mental state that he appears to be in. It's fucking frightening. Let's just get into it. So Ruby Rose dropped this banger on Twitter today, "Tat my face on you so I know it's real." And it's a video of text messages between Brandon and her, and that's really not an accurate description because she does not engage in these text messages. It's just Brandon talking at her endlessly. And then another video of the tattoo Brandon got of Ruby Rose's face on his body. Now let's take a peek at the sacred texts here. Let's look at the documents. So right away, Brandon's name is saved in her phone as Brandon Weird OnlyFans Fan. And I think that is just beautiful. Dude has dumped $62,000 in a month on Ruby Rose's OnlyFans content, only to be known by his queen as the Weird OnlyFans guy. I think that is such a powerful lesson many people need to learn. And it's one that extends beyond OnlyFans. This extends to like streaming too. There are a lot of people that believe if they're donating money to someone, they're entitled to some kind of relationship with the recipient of their cash. Whether it's friendship or in this case, fucking marriage, lifelong soulmates. That's just not the reality of the situation. Now let's start reading the texts, and it's important to keep in mind that all of these happen over the course of about 48 hours. So really let that marinate in your noodle up there, because it is crazy how deranged this gets. So he starts by saying, "What are you doing tonight?" And then when he doesn't get a response in a timely enough fashion, he then comes around the next day saying, "Why aren't you answering me? I thought we had a genuine connection." And then the legendary quadruple text, "Ruby, why aren't you answering me? I have invested so much money into our relationship." Pause. So Brandon believes he can purchase a relationship like it's a microtransaction in an EA video game. Brandon dumping his piggy bank while squeezing his hog to Ruby Rose did not buy a relationship with her. And it didn't mean that she was destined or obligated to fall in love with him, which is a concept that Brandon just can't seem to grasp. The only thing he's able to grasp is his cock while watching his OnlyFans princess. This is some frightening delusion here. I imagine Ruby Rose was already a bit concerned when Brandon dumped 62 grand on her in a month. That seems like obsessive behavior, and nobody wants to be the center of an obsession. It's a horrible feeling, and frankly, it's downright dangerous. That's creepy shit, which is why she labeled him the Weird OnlyFans guy, I imagine. And now it seems she reluctantly gave him her number, and he is going crazy with it, further solidifying that he is an unhinged creep. He continues, "I am in love with you. Why won't you love me?" Jesus Christ, brother. And then he goes into like the longest speech I've ever read. I think he got this directly from the transcript of an anime. "I would do anything for you. I would fly anywhere to be with you. All that I can ever think of is you. There is not a single other person in the world as perfect as you are. You could be my queen and I be your king. I would give you anything you could ever wish for. We can even have a one-sided, open-ended relationship where you can do whatever you want as long as I know that at the end of the day, you come home to me and are only with me. I promise. I will treat you better than anyone, Ruby. I love you with all of my heart. I've never felt this way about anyone. I want to marry you. I want to have a family with you. I want to only be with you. I would quit everything and give up everything just for you. I will do anything for you to love me. I will give you everything I have just for the chance that you never leave me. I want you to be with me forever. In my eyes, I've never seen or known something that I am so sure will be perfect. I can imagine waking up every day and looking over at you asleep on the bed looking perfect while you sleep, and I run my hands through your hair, or my getting you the largest diamond ring that I can find so that it's on the hand of a true queen. I will buy you whatever car, boat, or jet you want. I will never love someone as much as I love you, Ruby. I love you more than Bitcoin. I only love you... I love you more than Bitcoin. Shit, he just won over my heart with that one. Wow, more than Bitcoin? Really, Brandon? What the fuck? That's a lot. That's a lot of love. I will give up everything to have you to only be mine. Please don't ignore me, Ruby. I am sending you more money right now. You are making me cry right now by not answering me. I am bawling at the thought, thinking that you won't be with me forever, and that you don't love me anymore. I don't know if there is a point anymore to anything. What the fuck do you mean if you don't love me anymore? She never loved you in the first place. You have only ever creeped her out, clearly. All I can ever think of or dream of is you. You are on my mind all day, every day. Thinking of how you smelled in the hotel lobby when I first saw you. Thinking of your perfect voice. Thinking of your perfect smile when you first laughed awkwardly as I told you that I was your #1 fan. Everything about you makes me get butterflies in my stomach. Oh, it's making my fucking skin crawl reading this. This is like the most alarming text message I think I've ever fucking read. Without it just being like an overt threat, this is like the closest thing I've seen to just downright declaration of cringe, like frightening obsession. Like, good God. So, it seems like Ruby Rose reluctantly gave Brandon her number when he somehow just magically bumped into her the other day. And this is how things are going. Clearly, these feelings aren't reciprocated because Ruby doesn't even know him, and he doesn't know her. He has an unhealthy obsession with her, and he's imagined this fantasy world of them getting married, and all he can think about is her. The obsession is very scary. As I mentioned in the last video, Brandon is a porn addict. He was on an entire TV show dedicated to his porn addiction. And it's clear he is still addicted to porn. And now he is obsessed with her. He actually has a mental illness that needs professional help, clearly. And this is just terrifying. Please tell me you're just very busy and not seeing my texts right now, princess. Please? I cherished every second I was with you. I adore you. You are the reason I wake up every morning. I have no purpose without you. You are my rock. Ruby? Ruby, stop ignoring me! Why are you ignoring me after all the money that I've given you to show you that I'm only loyal to you and how much I love and appreciate and adore you? How dare you not answer me? I see you actively posting on your Instagram story, and you have not answered me once. You are making me very mad. I have treated you like a princess, and you won't even take the time to respond to me. I will not tolerate this. So he's going full mask off here into his Batman supervillain origin story, and I can already just see him slamming his fist into his desk at the last part of that message. I will not tolerate this any longer. Notice how all of this is taking place over the course of hours, like a handful of hours. It's all one day to lead to this, spiraling into the deepest pits of hell with this fury that not even Lucifer could conjure, all because the OnlyFans model that he sends so much money to isn't in love with him and responding to his text messages. His very creepy text messages, mind you. It's not like he's just trying to have normal conversations. He's immediately opening with like, I love you. We need to get married. You are actually all I think about, all I dream about. You are literally my purpose. You are my fucking rock. I know I'm a stranger to you, but you are actually the only angel in my life. You are the sun that shines for me. And I'm looking at the sun and it's not burning my eyes. It's opening them. Luckily, Jekyll comes back out and he puts Mr. Hyde away, and, you know, he's very apologetic for his outburst. It was highly unprofessional and ridiculous, actually. Which, again, this is not uncharacteristic of someone with an obsession. These violent mood swings and all of this anger, obsessions are a horrible thing. And this is clearly an obsession. So, he says, I am sorry for getting mad at you. I did not mean to. I shouldn't have, but the love I have for you causes me to get very emotional, especially about you. I love you so much, Ruby. You're my world, my rock, my queen, my everything. There's nothing that I wouldn't do to make you the happiest little princess in the world. I promise that I love you, and only you, for you. Wait, I promise that I love you, and only you for you. It's like a fucking riddle. What is that? That's like some kind of gotcha moment that Gollum would have used on Frodo Baggins. I don't understand. But anyway, I don't care about your followers, your fans, your money. I only want you. Oh, wait, I get it. He's saying I only love you for you, as in like her personality. Like, I don't care about any of the other stuff. I love you for you, babe. Oh my goodness, that's so sweet. Oh, and they say chivalry's dead. Wow. What a heart melter. You're the best thing that ever has happened to me. I know that we only met for 5 minutes and that you had to leave, but I have cherished it so much I cannot stop thinking about it and you. You were magnificent. It was almost like it was out of a movie when I first saw you come down the elevator with your perfect smooth hair, your perfect clear skin, your beautiful smile and eyes. I would never change a thing about you. I only want you forever, my queen. You'll be the only thing and all that I need to be happy. You become my sole purpose in life. Baby. It's so over the top that it almost seems satirical, like it's supposed to be a parody of an obsessed stalker for an OnlyFans model. But I really think this is genuine, not only because he gets a tattoo, and I'm pretty sure it's a real tattoo, but also just knowing Brandon's history, where he is legitimately a porn addict, and even had a whole show episode dedicated to it. So I really do think this is all genuine here, and that is very alarming. But for just a moment, let's go ahead and play with the idea that this is all fake. What would be the purpose? I suppose if this is all like a coordinated effort between Ruby Rose and Brandon, it could be used to try and drive traffic to Ruby Rose's OnlyFans, perhaps? But I still think that's a bit unrealistic because I don't think anyone would ever agree to play this role, and I don't necessarily see this leading to a lot of new OnlyFans signups, because if anything, it highlights the, danger of it to a certain extent. So I don't think it'd be a successful marketing campaign if this is all fake and that's the purpose. Please, answer me, my queen. Please don't leave me. I adore you, Ruby. You are all I need to be whole in life. I will never leave you or even look in the same direction of another girl. I want to marry you. And then he sends another 30,000. I even spent 30,000 more on you since we met because I thought we had something genuine and real. Like, it's so crazy. What do you mean? If it's genuine and real, you wouldn't have spent $92,000 on it. It would have been free. It would have been a real, genuine experience, not like a fucking transactional one. And you didn't even get an experience. You met her for fucking 5 minutes when you bumped into her, which, again, I know you schemed and planned for that. You absolutely, I'm imagining him on, stakeouts and shit, in an unmarked vehicle, kind of following her around, getting her schedule, and then, waiting for the right moment to bump into her. I will empty my bank account just to be with you. I will travel across the country just to randomly run into you again. I will never be over you. You are the love of my life. My perfect little princess, you are stunning. You are my breath of fresh air in a world that is so dark and cold. You are the sun to my thunderstorm, the spurt of luck in my day, the pot of lucky gold at the end of the rainbow. You are my everything in this life. That has to be the worst written line in the history of humanity. That is the worst romance line that has ever been fucking put to paper. Well, put to text. That's worse than 50 Shades of Grey writing with the sodden panties and the I don't make love, I fuck hard. That, what he just said there, that whole sentence is nauseating. And I wish nothing more than to spend the rest of my life with you. I can spend all of my money and be homeless just to wake up every day knowing that you are happy. I can watch you have sexual actions with other men just to pleasure your sexual needs. I can be your sissy boy and let you boss me around while I do whatever you demand of me in my sissy maid outfit. I will do anything at any cost just to make you happy and just to be in the same room that you're breathing in. I have an obsession with you since the day I first saw you on Instagram. Ever since that day, I have made it my life mission to one day have the chance to see you. I'm going to skip a couple of chapters here, 6 paragraphs worth of more, fucking vomit from his mouth, and go to this. I will send you 10 Bitcoin right now if you answer me. That's worth almost 400 grand. All you have to do is respond to me with one word, Ruby. Please, I need your attention. I need to make sure that my kitten is safe. He's actually trying to bribe her again. Look, 400 grand for you to say anything to me. And actually, doesn't even need to say anything. He goes down and says, all you have to do is just react to one of my messages. Please, I beg you, I cannot think of life without you. So all she has to do for 400 grand is just react to one of them. It could be like the laughing crying emoji or something, like how cringe all of it is. And he would then give her 400 grand. Holy shit. That is so fucking pathetic. Now I'm skipping around again here, but then he sends her pictures that he's in a tattoo parlor saying he has a surprise for her, and then sends pictures of the tattoo being done and then the finished work as well. That to me does seem like a real tattoo. I don't think that's one of the fake temporary ones, but it's kind of hard to confirm beyond a shadow of a doubt, like 100% it's real. Like in the pictures, like it seems like there's not a lot of redness there, which every tattoo I've ever had quite a bit of redness around there and like some blood still oozing out. In the pictures, I can't really see that, but it's also possible that it's just been wiped away. And in the videos showing the process, it does seem like he's actually getting a real tattoo. So I'm leaning more on the side of this all being true and not just like fake or some kind of scam or anything. And that's scary. Like this whole situation is fucking frightening to see the inner workings of an obsession. And his behavior isn't even unusual for obsessed people. Like this is why it's so dangerous. These fucking violent mood swings, this outrage, it's a terrible situation. It's a legitimate mental illness. It's really sad. It's actually sad, and he needs to get professional help for it. He has a porn addiction, and has had a porn addiction since at least 2009, and now an obsession with Ruby Rose and her OnlyFans content. This is an individual who needs legitimate professional help, and Ruby Rose needs to actually make sure that she is as far away from this guy as possible. Like, she's gonna probably need security to ensure that Brandon doesn't get anywhere near the premises that she's around, because this guy does not seem to be in his right mind. So, just wanted to give you an update to this story, because it's a fucking wild one. That's about it. So yeah. Over the last couple of months, I've analyzed more text messages than the FBI. I have been glued to bad romance and flirting, like a moth to a flame. I've been wandering the deepest, darkest pits of filth. It's like in Space Jam when Michael Jordan gets sucked into the golfing hole. I've been sucked into the asshole of the internet, and all I see is cringe down here. But today, there's a new ingredient being added to this concoction. The recipe had a chemical X. Crime. This got posted to Reddit earlier today, and a lot of people sent it my way, and it actually reminded me of a real criminal case that happened back in 2022, and I actually found the case again through the comment section of this post, because I couldn't quite recall all the particulars of it, but there is a lot of similarities shared between that criminal case in 2022 and these text messages that this individual is showcasing here. So it starts with this girl's coworker messaging her out of the blue saying, "Hey." He receives crickets, no response, silence. And you know what they say, if at first you don't succeed, try being weirder. So he comes back around within 3 hours saying, "Hello? Is this blank?" She says, "Who is this?" And he goes, It's me," with a smiley face. "I just wanted to text you and see how things were." "Oh, things are going alright, I suppose. Not to come off as rude, but how did you get my number, dude? I mean, I don't mind you texting me, but I've never gave it to you." And that's when he lifts up the curtain and breaks the magician's code, revealing his secret method. "I just grabbed it off the contact sheet in the office room. Hope that's alright." To which she says nothing in response, because that is fucking creepy. She never gave him her number. He just went out of his way to find it from their workplace. Yucky. But he comes back around saying, "How's it going?" And he just keeps going, throwing questions at the wind here, hoping to receive even the slightest semblance of life on the other side, not realizing that he has already scared her by snooping around tracking down her phone number without ever getting it from her directly. So it's already super creepy to do that. So he says, "How was your New Year's?" No response. 2 days later. "Sorry to keep texting, but what are you up to today? If you're free later, I'd love to go out." I will never understand that kind of shit right there. How can you be so deluded and lost in your own little fantasy land Narnia that you think there's even an iota of a chance that she agrees to go out with you when she has ignored your messages for 4 fucking days? Like, what is the thought process? Scratching at his chin. Maybe she's playing hard to get. Perhaps she's just been truly swamped and has been really wanting to reply to me, but just might be a bit shy and doesn't know how. I know. I'll go ahead and invite her out with me. That should make her a lot more comfortable. And he goes a bit deeper. "I know you're probably busy, but I could pick you up too, so you wouldn't have to take the bus anywhere. If you wanted to go out, that is. Sorry to keep texting, but I don't want to be out too late, so I'd appreciate a response at some point, smiley. I'm heading out to get coffee now, so if you want to join me, just let me know. Ma'am, you better hurry. The choo-choo train is leaving and Mr. Perfect is going with it. You only have one opportunity to get coffee with a gentle sir like this, so you really gotta play your cards right. She declines, saying, I would appreciate it if you didn't text me unless it's work-related. I don't really know you, and I'm only blank. You're 5 years older than me, dude. This just feels creepy. I didn't mean to be creepy or anything. You're just pretty, and I thought it would be cool if we got to hang out, Smiley. No thanks. That's honestly so weird, and if you continue to ask, I'm going to talk to Lean about this. I'm assuming that's like their supervisor or someone higher up at the place they work. And then he goes in deep. He says, I'm not gonna lie. I've been thinking about you a lot, and I just want you to spend time with me. What you said the other day just felt rude. At least try and give this a chance. I know you're probably not awake, but I've been up all night thinking about you. Not going to lie, sometimes I like to take pictures of your ass while you're in the drive-thru window and I jerk off to them in the bathroom. I'll go ahead and take a courtesy pause here to give everyone a brief respite and let that nugget marinate in this sauce here because he just dropped a real heavy, spicy meatball on the plate. And when I first read it, I certainly wasn't ready for that because that's just openly admitting to a crime. I'm not a sheriff or anything, but I'm pretty confident that that's illegal. He'd probably be taken away in handcuffs if this information got out, which it should. She should absolutely report all of this. Now, somehow it actually only gets worse from here. This is just the beginning. He's showing his true face, and man oh man, is it an extraordinarily ugly one. I know that's messed up, but imagine if we fucked in the work bathroom, or if we went out in public. I honestly just love the idea of having a little helpless bitch under my control. I know you're so much younger, but you should give it a shot. Older men can be so much fun to be with. No one at work would have to know. Hello? Sorry for calling, but I'm really lonely and you haven't replied to me at all. Since the text messages are going unanswered, I guess he's resorted to actually just calling her, which is also being ignored, obviously, because that's the safest thing you can do is ignore it. So I can't believe the revelation that it turns out he's lonely. Who would have seen that coming? With smooth talking like this dude's got all the game in the world. This man's a fucking apex predator, a grizzly bear, a champion of Riz here. I can't believe that he, of all people, would somehow be lonely. What a curveball. He then tries to brush all that under the rug, trying to apologize for it. Sorry about last night. I got carried away. I know you're probably not even reading these, but I hope you have a good day, Smiley. I'll be thinking of you. I really don't see an issue. It's not like a romantic date or anything. It would just be getting coffee and food. And if you were in the mood, we could always go to my place to watch a movie. I know it sounds creepy, but why not just get out and enjoy the day together? What in the hell is even that? What are you talking about? It's not like a romantic thing or anything. You were just talking about fucking in the workplace bathroom. And then you were talking about having a helpless bitch under your control. What do you mean it's just coffee? You're already showing how extraordinarily creepy and perverse you are. What are you yapping about? He's blabbermouthing about a bunch of hooey. And that's when she finally does respond to all this and says, alright man, I'm probably going to report you to the police. You know damn well that I'm underage and you're texting me in the middle of the night like that. Fuck off. And then he drops her address and says, if you continue to ignore me, I'll just make it so you can't. If you tell anyone, I'll make this even worse for you. So it turns out she's underage, and he was well aware of that fact. And he also would have been even more aware of that fact, considering he snooped through the confidential workplace documents to find her address and her phone number. So it would have been abundantly clear that she is underage, and he didn't care. He still went for this full throttle. So he's also a pedophile on top of all of this. Now, he concludes their conversation by dropping her address to obviously try and scare her, letting her know that he knows where she lives and he can always pay her a visit. And a lot of people in the comments, and I think a lot of people in general, would assume that that's just supposed to be like some kind of scare tactic to get her to not say anything. Not necessarily that he's going over there right this instant to do something, but that is still a legitimate threat, and I imagine an actionable threat that the authorities can use. This is one of those situations that really shouldn't be taken lightly, and it seems like it isn't. It seems like she's taken the proper measures here, like contacting authorities or contacting workplace staff and all that, which is what she should be doing. because this is just legitimately dangerous. I mentioned at the start that it reminded me of a case from 2022 where a man killed his 17-year-old coworker because he had a huge crush on her, and since he couldn't have her, nobody could. Her name was Riley Whitelaw, and she was murdered at her place of work by this individual. He recently got sentenced in October of 2023 for the murder, and it is just horrifying. Now, Riley had previously made a complaint to the employment about how uncomfortable he made her with like the advances that he would make on her and all of that, and even asked to like have her schedule changed so they wouldn't have to work together. And despite all of that, they still worked together. The place of employment did not change her schedule around to get her away from him or anything like that. They continued to work together despite all of her complaints until it eventually culminated with him killing her. It's a tragic story. Fucking horrifying. And it reminds me of the text messages we just read right there, where a coworker becomes infatuated with someone and then eventually does something disgusting like that. So reading through these text messages, it is a concerning individual in a scary situation. And it's something I think about from time to time about how awful it must be to just be doing your job, doing nothing wrong at all, and then still ending up in a situation like this. This girl never made any advances toward this guy. She never even gave him her number or anything at all. And yet somehow he still became obsessed with her and then stalked her company documents to find her phone number and her address and all of that. It's just so awful. She's literally just doing her job and then gets put in a situation like this because of this absolute lunatic. So yeah, just wanted to talk about it a little bit. I think situations like these should always be taken seriously. Like if a coworker or anyone for that matter starts to get like a level of obsession with you that it becomes a bit palpable, that you can start to see it, it immediately needs to be something that you take very seriously because you never know where it could lead. And I think that is just always something that needs to be handled with real care. So just wanted to go over this a little bit. That's really it. So yeah. There's a story floating around that's piqued a lot of interest, and a lot of people have wondered if I've seen it. It's about North Korean soldiers that allegedly have become addicted to adult content online, since for the first time in their lives, they have less restrictions on internet usage while they're fighting for Russia against Ukraine. So, North Korean soldiers that are fighting with Russia, they've apparently gone full gooner after having their Sharingan awakened with this unfettered internet access, at least according to Gideon Rackman, a Financial Times foreign affairs commentator. A usually reliable source tells me that the North Korean soldiers who have deployed to Russia have never had unfettered access to the internet before. As a result, they are gorging on pornography. A classic source, trust me bro moment. However, this guy does have some prestige with that title, I think. I don't know. I'm not an expert on the Financial Times or anything. It's not like he really dove into the lore or explained where he got this information from. He just kind of made it like a mic drop moment and then walked away. So this could just be a guy pulling shit out of his ass. It's very possible. The U.S. Defense Department spokesperson, Lieutenant Colonel Charlie Dietz, was even asked about it and said that he couldn't confirm any North Korean internet habits or virtual extracurriculars. He went on to say that they're instead more focused on serious aspects of North Korea's involvement, if any, in Russia's military operations, and that the question about whether or not the North Korean soldiers are going auga at their phone screens when looking at honkers should be asked to Moscow instead. Of course, it's impossible for me to know whether or not the claim is true that North Korean soldiers are now gorging on pornography. I'm not there. I'm not looking over their shoulder, breathing down their neck, going, hey, what you watching there? So I have no way of knowing. It doesn't seem like there's any strong evidence to support the claim, but whether or not it's true, it's an interesting thought that I want to talk about briefly. We had a similar topic that I talked about like 5 months ago when there was a story about this remote tribe that had recently got internet access, and there was a viral story about how they've now become addicted to porn and it's destroying their entire community and all of that. So this isn't the first of its kind here, though in that case that was very overblown and dramatic for the sake of clicks, and in this case it's too early to tell, but there's no evidence to suggest that North Korean soldiers are right now in the middle of big-time gooning. On Reddit, however, the front page, they have this photo right here that claims it's a picture of a North Korean soldier that was watching girls dancing all day, but it looks like a really staged photo. I mean, the guy looks super happy. He looks like he's on cloud 9 right there. That is a man who is at peace with whatever is on his phone, but it really feels like this picture is not authentic. And then from the same Reddit account, they also posted this, which is a short video of a North Korean soldier apparently watching girls dancing on social media. To me, they just feel more fake than a fleshlight, just very phony baloney staged photos. I don't know why, maybe to capitalize off how viral this story has become. It just, to me, doesn't seem real, but it is very possible it is. But I haven't seen any actual journalists report on that photo or that video. So I don't know if the authenticity has been verified or anything. But putting it through the Charles sniff test smells like bullshit to me. Who really knows? But the idea is interesting because when you grow up with access to the internet, there's a lot of things that become normal to you that are incomprehensible to those that don't have that. There's the obvious, like, information, access to others, videos, like an infinite number of things change drastically with internet access. But since the focal point of this story was porn, I guess I'll talk on that aspect too. In North Korea, porn is Voldemort. You don't say its name, but it does exist. Like, there is a consumption of pornography in North Korea, even though it is forbidden. It's usually through the black markets, purchasing magazines or films and such, but it's not something that's like officially condoned, and it does carry a severe punishment, at least as I understand it. So it's not something most people have access to in an easy way. So as a North Korean soldier, if you go fight somewhere overseas and you have access to it on your phone, that is a game changer experience, because prior to that, most likely the only way you'd ever really see a naked person is if you saw them in person, right? Like, think back. I made this point when talking about this in the last video when it came to the remote tribe. The average person in the world right now has seen more yams and butt cheeks than your entire family tree combined, thanks to the internet. In the modern day and age, you can't even open up Twitter without being inundated with titties, pussy, and spread asshole. And it's become so normalized. Not just on Twitter, on just the internet as a whole. If you go to the comments section right now, I guarantee there is probably 1,000 bot comments with a naked woman or just giant milkers that is a copy and paste of some other comment right there promoting OnlyFans or some other porn site. It's just become extremely common. So if you're someone that's never had access to the internet and then you just suddenly get it, it's overwhelming with the amount of new things that get introduced into your life. And it's big for the brain here. Like, it's so overstimulating, like all the information, and that does include all of the porn that then just gets fucking placed right there on your doorstep. Like, it's something that even if you don't go looking for it, like even if the North Korean soldiers aren't typing in naked booby to blow a load, they will undoubtedly just encounter it because of how prevalent it is just in the internet in general. Like, even if they don't go out of their way for it, it will find them. Again, this assumes the story's true in the first place, that North Korean soldiers are drooling and hooked on porn right now. Even though there's no evidence to support that claim at the moment, the claim itself is believable because of how widely documented porn addiction is. It's a serious, serious problem. And in this case, I'm assuming the soldiers have probably never even seen porn before, considering how difficult it is to get in North Korea. So they're probably even more blown away by it and more susceptible to it, would be my guess. Of course, I'm not a psychologist or anything. I'm not a fucking porn scientist. It's just what I'm imagining would be the case. It's just a fascinating thought, really, because I grew up with the internet. I imagine most people watching this have as well. And even if you didn't grow up with it, you got to evolve with it over time. It was never something that all of a sudden the modern internet just fell into your lap one day. You watched it grow and build into what it became today. In this case, they're getting the internet dropped on them all at once, coming from nothing to everything. It's like fucking Gojo's domain expansion, really, but with internet degeneracy. So I just find it super interesting. Also, this is a bit unrelated and probably a bit stupid, but I do wonder if this is a true claim about North Korean soldiers gorging on adult content. Would the US military try and use that to their advantage somehow, you think? Like, start blasting their devices with advertisements for, like, giant melons, like, click here, and they spend like hours doing that, just rotting away watching porn as opposed to fighting. I wonder if that'd be like an effective tactic in general. Like they start just spamming their phones with like those advertisements from back in the day, like, this sexy singles in your area, this woman's trying to fuck you right now. Actually, this very second. Hey, asshole, this woman's trying to put on a show for you, specifically you. It's a private show. And it's like Keister just jiggling around. Click here and watch. Have some fucking respect. Just like this giant effort to keep them glued to their phone watching porn as opposed to like going out to the front lines and fighting. I don't think it'd actually work. Obviously, I'm just kidding around, but it is an interesting idea. Could there be any merit to that strategy? Most likely not. That's really about it. So, yeah. I've been back and forth for a little while now on whether or not to make a video about this topic because it's not exactly goofy, but the more I read about it, the wackier it becomes and the more unbelievable the story is. I'm sure you've seen all the headlines by now that Brittany Griner is being exchanged for a Russian criminal known as the Merchant of Death. Now, I'll go ahead and bring you up to speed on the lore if you don't know exactly what this is referring to. Brittany Griner was one of the best WNBA players in the league, and she was detained in Russia on drug charges about 10 months ago. The drug charges were super minor. It was like 2 tiddlywinks of weed. They basically threw her in the slammer for thinking about marijuana. The actual story was they came after her for smuggling because they found vaporizer cartridges on her person which contained less than a gram of hash oil. So super trivial amount, really. You'd find more devil's lettuce in a church bathroom. She wasn't exactly some drug kingpin who was trying to escape the country with a duffel bag full of jazz cabbage. It was very small stuff. She was detained and thrown into a labor camp for the last 10 months. And since then, the US has been working to try and set up a trade with Russia to get her back. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tackle this complicated issue real quick, just right away, because I've seen so many people mention this, that this same thing would happen in America for the same level of, possession. People in America get thrown in jail for years for very minor drug charges. And you're right. That's horrible, too. It's horrible when it happens in America. It's horrible that it happened to Brittany Griner in Russia. They can both be terrible together. I think we can all agree on that. That's not some big gotcha moment. Now, getting back on topic, today the US has finalized the trade agreeing to swap Victor Bout, the Merchant of Death, for Brittany Griner. And a lot of people have been scratching their head saying that this seems like an unfair trade, a pretty lopsided deal, because the Merchant of Death isn't exactly some lightweight. And that title alone is scary. That's like releasing Cobra Commander, like freeing him from the G.I. Joe prison. This isn't just some nobody. This is a very, very well-known arms dealer. In fact, they have a whole goddamn movie about this guy called Lord of War, starring Nicolas Cage. This isn't some small fry, not some faceless old pop Wiggleberry that was convicted for kegeling heroin. Like, this is a big deal. Now, of course, I do agree that this was a wrongful conviction. Brittany Griner's punishment didn't fit her crime. This was pretty outrageous. Like, yes, I understand, like, a law was broken, but this kind of enforcement of it is absurd. And I think getting her out is great, but I do agree with a lot of people that are wondering, could we have got more for this trade? Like, right now, there are still 2 other US citizens that are imprisoned in Russia. And we just gave up, like, our biggest Yu-Gi-Oh card here to barter with. Could we have maybe grouped them all together? Be like, we'll give you the Merchant of Death. We'll give you the super duper ultra rare prisoner if you give us all 3 of your prisoners of ours. Like, I feel like that would have been a much more fair deal. Like, right now there's a Marine sitting in there that's been there since 2018. Like, I definitely feel like maybe we could have played this a little bit better. Now, of course, I'm not looking at the deeper political motivations and angles to a negotiation like this. I'm not here to dissect the inner machinations of this kind of swap. I'm looking at this as a pure layman reptile brain. And to me, while I'm happy that she's been able to return to the US, I would have liked to have seen that for the other 2 victims there. I would really like if we made the same level of effort to bring them home as well. And I feel like this could have been a great opportunity for it, since they were using the goddamn Merchant of Death. Like, just imagine the perspective of the Marine that's currently there for the last 4 years. You know, he hears Brittany Griner got released in a prisoner swap. He's like, oh, who did they trade? The fucking Merchant of Death. And then like, well, who are they? Are they trying to get me out? Oh yeah, they are. Well, who are they? Who are they willing to trade? Oh, just some like Russian dude who stole a pack of cigarettes from a gas station. For some reason, the Russian government's not taking that trade though, but they're doing their best. Like I think this was a good opportunity to swing for the fences, get the whole kit and caboodle, grab the other 2 prisoners as well in this swap. That seems like a much like more even deal, if you ask me. You get all of the U.S. Citizens that are held captive in Russia right now out all at once in one fell swoop. Of course, I'm just a pea-brained fucking idiot, so perhaps that pipe dream was never an actual possibility, but, you know, to me it sounds like it could have been feasible. Like, get Saul Goodman on the line and work the deal. Like, it just seems like the Merchant of Death had a lot of weight for bargaining. That's just how it appears to me. Now, if you thought that's where this story ends, you're a damn fool, because there was a massive plot twist nobody saw coming. Vin Diesel may have played a role in this. He may have been the one that actually saved the day here. A lot of people are praising him for an Instagram post he allegedly made last month, where he had a picture of himself at a Lakers game giving a thumbs up with the caption, "I need Brittany Griner home before Christmas." Now, when I first read about all this, I assumed this was a fake screenshot. I mean, it doesn't even have a verified check mark on his name. It just seems like a meme that was made to troll and get a little goofy on Twitter. But Rolling Stone and Yahoo both seem to think that this was a real post Vin Diesel made and then deleted shortly thereafter. So who really fucking knows, honestly? I just love to toy around with that fan fiction that Vin Diesel somehow scared the Russian government into accepting a trade to get Brittany Griner home after he made his Instagram post. Like they're all just panicking at the headquarters, going from phone to phone. No, I saw it. No, I saw it. Yep, I know. Jesus Christ, I understand. It's all gonna burn down. Vin Diesel's gonna come over here with his goddamn Dodge Charger, and he's gonna kick our ass. He's gonna beat our fucking ass. It's just such an entertaining idea that they never had any intention of ever trading Brittany Griner until Vin Diesel made his post, and they're like, oh my god, we're on a tight time crunch now. Now we're on the clock. This is a cutthroat schedule. Vin Diesel wants her home by Christmas. Okay, get the Americans on the line. We'll orchestrate a trade ASAP. We cannot allow Mr. Diesel to get involved in this. like that is just so like amazing to think about. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about this situation a little bit because it's a pretty wild one, and really that's about it. So yeah.